Dear friends, 717 days of war between Russia and Ukraine, and there are no signs of any ceasefire, even if it is temporary. In southern theater of war zone on Kherson front, heavy offensive operation by Russian army and counterattack by Ukrainian army, continuing with heavy losses. No significant changes as far as Krinky bridgehead is concerned, or even towards any other parts on the eastern bank of Dnieper River. On Zaporizhia front, Urikhiv sector, Russian offensive operation west of Robotino and even from the east side is quite heavy and continuing. In a week or so, Russian army has advanced 3 to 400 meters. In Rimivki salient, Russian army offensive operation at Pryutny. In recent times, Ukrainians' counter-attack was partially successful, in which they were able to stop Russian offensive operations or advance. Russians are also carrying out assaults towards Rivnopol and Novodonetsk regions. In north on Kupiansk-Swatovo direction, Russians carried out assaults on Sinkivka from the flanks. They advanced in the forest regions west of Sinkivka. Presently, there seems to be some change in tactics of Russian army, attacking from the flanks in Sinkivka, rather head-on attack, and which is quite common for the Russian army and can be seen all over the front lines. Attacks and counter-attacks are on from both the sides in north of Tabaivka as well as west of Novoselivsky. In Liman direction, Russians advanced 200 meters in Serebryansky forestry as well as towards Terny salient. Coming to east, in North Soledar-Siversk sector, Russian army advanced towards Belogorivka and took over adjacent Zakhidne filtration plant. On Bakhmut front, Russians are maintaining their initiative and advanced towards Krasnoye and south of Bogdanovka, while in southern flank towards Klishchivka. In Avdiivka, Russian offensive operation continues towards coke plant and where intensity of battle has increased. Russians expanded zone of control towards industrial building while they also advanced south of the railway line. In southern Avdiivka, Ukrainians carried out large-scale counter-attacks, however without any gains, and stalemate persists, and this was possible because of fresh reinforcements for the Ukrainians. On Marinka front, west of it towards Zorgievka, Russians advanced 200 meters after certain breaks. Now the fight is going on within the village itself. Fight is also towards Poveda. As far as Novomykhailivka is concerned, Russian army retreated to some extent from northeast outskirts due Ukrainian counterattacks. However, Russians entered Novomykhailivka from southeast direction and also restarted their offensive operations from south, forcing Ukrainians to retreat from cemetery. Interdiction missions. Ukrainians were able to hit 2 oil refineries in Krasnodar and one was in huge flames. They also launched their UAVs and other forms of attacks over Black Sea, Kursk, Bryansk, but most of them were shot down. They also reached Nizhny Novgorod. Russians struck a hotel in Zamyrsky, that is in Kherson region, where it is said that large number of Ukrainian troops as well as foreign mercenaries were stationed, and they also have been hitting other regions like Sumy and Odessa. From Palestine Israel Middle East, in North Gaza, Hamas continues incursions into IDF posts. In center, low intensity conflict operation is on, while in south, IDF offensive operation continues. And on Hezbollah Israel front, counter shelling is on. Hezbollah also fired dozens of warheads at IDF base in Golden Height. Netanyahu has ordered IDF to assault Rafah, and this is the only place which links Gaza Strip with Egypt, and there are hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees. Huge protests by the farmers are on in Poland and especially on the Ukrainian border. More than 250 blockades and demonstrations throughout the country were reported, and this is especially against Ukrainian cheap grains. Warsaw is negotiating with Kiev on serious restrictions on import of agricultural products from Ukraine. Polish Deputy Agriculture Minister said, "If it were up to me, I would impose restrictions on import of sugar, frozen raspberries and apple concentrate as soon as possible." Austrian communist youths also carried out demonstration while chanting "Eat the Rich." In Pakistan's national election, where more than 128 million voters are registered, voted in favor of Imran Khan, the ex-Prime Minister who is behind the bar, and his party. Junior doctors in UK will carry out a general strike between 24 to 28 February. Many trade unions in India carried out joint demonstrations against the present government and their anti-labor laws all over India. Lastly, Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin were seen by 150 million on Twitter, where 270,000 shared and 863,000 liked it. More than 8.3 million views were recorded in YouTube, and this is about 8 to 10 hours earliest record. Now, will some famous Russian journalist carry out interview with Biden? Well, that's all from my side today, friends. See you tomorrow. Thank you.